it's Hannah here, or you can call me by my nature nickname, which is Mushroom. And today I'm going to show you how to tap a maple tree. So maple trees have sap, and at a certain time of the year they start moving all of their sap up to the tops of the trees where the buds are forming that will grow the leaves. And the tree knows when this is going to happen by little photoreceptors on the buds. So the photoreceptors just tell how much light and how much dark there is. And when a certain time of the year when there's enough light, they will start asking the tree to send them up some sap. So the sap is just like it's sugary, it tastes a lot like water, but it's got sugar in it. And when the tree goes to sleep for the winter, they store all of their energy in their roots. And then in the springtime, when the light is right, they take all the energy back up in the form of sap and bring it up to the buds. And then when choosing where you want to tap, you want to be about 3 feet up, and you want to find a smooth part of the tree that gets a lot of sunlight. So that's usually the south side of the tree, but it could be different depending on the shade. And then you want to drill about 2 or 2.5 inches in with a 3/16 inch drill bit, and then you just tap the spigot in with a hammer. So when you're tapping a tree, the first thing you want to do is to say hello to the tree. Just like feel its bark, look up at the leaves, get a feeling of the tree, and ask it if we can tap for its sap. There it is! So once you get it in, you just hang the bucket and wait for the bucket to fill up. So I just wanted to read you a section from one of my favorite books, Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And the part I want to read you is an excerpt that she adapted from an oral tradition. When Nanabozo, the Anishinaabe original man, our teacher, part man, part Mandito, walked through the world, he took note of who was flourishing and who was not, who was mindful of the original instructions and who was not. He was dismayed when he came upon villages where the gardens were not being tended, where the fish nets were not repaired, and the children were not being taught the way to live. Instead, seeing piles of firewood and caches of corn, he found the people lying beneath maple trees with their mouths wide open, catching the thick, sweet syrup of the generous trees. They had become lazy and took for granted the gifts of the Creator. They did not do to their ceremonies or care for one another. He knew his responsibility, so he went to the river and dipped up many buckets of water. He poured the water straight into the maple trees to dilute the syrup. Today, maple sap flows like a stream of water, with only a trace of sweetness to remind the people of both possibility and responsibility. And so it is that it takes 40 gallons of sap to make a gallon of syrup. So just getting back from checking our tree and gathering some sap, and it is so good. It tastes a lot like water, but it's got this sweetness to it and a depth that is absolutely delicious. So you can boil all of this to make it into syrup or into candy, but I don't have the equipment, so I'm just enjoying the sap. But I wanted to tell you, I was reading more about this book, and the author, Robin Wall Kimmerer, she talks about how humans first learned about sap from the trees, and they actually learned it from squirrels, like Sammy the squirrel. And they learned it because this time of year, in like February and March, there's not as much food for squirrels. Their nut caches are kind of depleted, so they start looking for other food sources. So they go up to where the buds are starting to form on trees, and they gnaw at the bark, and then the sap starts to come up, and they lick it up for energy. But overnight, all the little places where they gnawed on the bark, actually the sap comes out and kind of hardens. And so the next day, the squirrel will go through the same circuit and find all where they chewed on the buds the day before and eat up the hardened sap that's a little bit sweeter from the overnight freezing. So it's pretty cool that that's how humans first learned about sap and making syrup. And so they would gather all the sap into big buckets, baskets, and then overnight it would freeze, and actually the top layer is more watery and the sugary part sinks to the bottom. So they'd freeze it, take off the top layer, and every night the sap would become sweeter and sweeter. And then eventually we had the tools to start boiling it into the syrup that we do now. Speaking of squirrels, I did leave some seed in my backyard for Sammy the squirrel, hoping that maybe Sammy would leave us a book sometime today. So I don't know if you can help me start looking for it. It could be anywhere in the backyard, really. But you see it in the garden. Well, the garden's, I don't know. I don't see it anywhere in the garden. Oh, here it is. You found it. Tap the Magic Tree. Let's read it. I'm very excited to read this book. Next to my garden, I've been itching to fix up the garden and get it all ready for planting, but actually there's a bunch of like insects and bees that live in the garden and live in hollow stems and stuff. So it's best to leave the garden as long as possible until it's about consistently 10 degrees all the time, and then you can start working on the garden. So that's exciting. Oh, it's a note from Sammy the squirrel. What does it say? Hi wild children, I hope you get to enjoy some maple syrup sweetness, and don't forget to thank your trees. Love, Sammy the squirrel. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Sammy. All right, the book is called Tap the Magic Tree by Christy Matheson. Tap the Magic Tree. There's magic in this bare brown tree. Tap it once, turn the page to see. Tap again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now tap again, even more. There's more and more leaves. Rub the tree to make it warm. Touch each bud. And see what forms. Flowers. Give the tree a little jiggle. That's it. Now make your fingers wiggle. It's raining. Brush away the petals, swish, and blow a tree a tiny kiss. Shake the tree. Plop, 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 kerp, plop. Knock, knock on the trunk. Then stop. We got apples at the bottom of this tree. Pat the leaves. Be gentle, please. Oh, there's Sammy. Aha! Now blow a wishing breeze. Clap your hands to bring the snow. Okay, be patient. Wait, don't go. Close your eyes and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Magic! It begins again. The end. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon.